Hey, this is Chris for JamPlay.com, and you're watching another episode of Lipe's Licks. And in the last lesson, we looked at a straight eighth delay and a kind of a clean melody line over this track that you're hearing. Now we're adding another layer, kind of in the background on that. It's definitely a rhythm layer. And it's set up as a dotted eighth delay. I'm now using my neck pickup instead of my bridge pickup. I've got my tone rolled back just a little bit because I want to be real subtle. And I'm using a dotted eighth delay, but I'm also playing kind of a dotted eighth line. So listen, when I play the line, you almost can't tell that the delay is there until I deviate from playing that exact pattern. And that's kind of the point that I wanted to make with this, is that we've got our straight eighth and kind of our dreamy sound that had some reverb on it, had a little bit of delay on it. And then we've got this one where it actually sounds quite dry until I do that little line. So we're here, 5th fret, and then 5th and 7th on your A string. That's all you're doing. But you're doing it in such a way that you're playing exactly with the delay, and then you're letting, by putting this little riff in, you're letting that kind of blossom out in certain places and just kind of peek out every so often. And when you're arranging for multiple guitar parts and you're using effects, this is so key. You might have the effect on the whole time, but you kind of hide it, and then with your playing, you bring the delay out. All right, so I'm going to play along with it again. Listen carefully to how the way I'm playing emphasizes the fact that I have that delay effect. Then we'll talk a little bit more about exactly what I'm using. So I kind of emphasized it a little bit more, but you can tell that whenever I go to this thing up here, that delay stands out because I cut off that note. So what I'm doing is I'm writing simple parts that accentuate a delay effect, as opposed to writing a really complex, fast thing and then slapping some delay or slapping some chorus on it, which sometimes can work. But in this case, I'm writing for the effect. I want it to be simple. I want it to be a layer. Let's talk a little bit more about the exact effect. This is a stereo delay. The last one was a mono delay. And what I've got a ping pong delay. And because it's dotted eighth, one of the repeats is going to happen closer to your right speaker, and the other repeat's going to happen closer to your left speaker. When you get this riff going, it creates a really nice space. Now I don't have any reverb on this, I have it super dry, and I'm letting that kind of stereo repeat thing create the space rather than the reverb. I think that because the previous line was so wet with that a little bit more feedback on the delay and the reverb, that this one needs to be dry, but it still needs space. So I opted to not go for reverb, and that helped these two parts blend together well. All right? I've also got a high cut set up on the delay to where, if you listen to a note, notice first of all how the high end is really lost on the repeats. Also, I've got modulation set kind of fast, so there's this kind of flutter. It's not a gradual kind of smooth thing like the other one, it's a flutter. And it's kind of detuned. But when you're low, it provides a little bit more standout nature while still letting it kind of sit in the track well. So experimenting is a huge thing, but hopefully this gives you some ideas to start. If you're going to do a really rhythmic part, try a dotted eighth delay if it's kind of a straight part like this, and combine that with some other things. So there's our second layer. Hopefully you're enjoying this little mini series on effects, and we'll see you for a third one real soon. The next two are going to be over the kind of chorus section on this backing track. So hope to see you there.